of this very special journal that I made. It's special to me because I designed all the papers, and I've used a method of constructing a journal that I used to use when I originally opened my Etsy shop. These are the kind of journals that I sold. I called them journals, but they were sort of keepsake books, memory keepers. You could stash bits of mementos, photographs, tickets, little sayings, snips of poems. And I had just about 10 different styles. I had a Jane Eyre journal. I had I had a Jane Austen journal. I had Jane Austen Christmas journals. I had a Christmas journal. I had a travel journal. I had a London journal. I had all sorts of journals. And then I also took a lot of special orders, and I made travel journals, so many travel journals for people going all over the world. And I always got a lot of happy reminiscences back from the customers who told me they loved the travel journal. I had a couple of repeat people that every place they went, they wanted me to make them a travel journal, because these journals lend themselves to collecting mementos on your trip and little places to write brief memories, not gigantic Tolstoy size novels of travel experiences. So it's not that kind of a travel journal. Anyway, so let's open it up. And on another note, I am going to do a tutorial where I'm going to show how I make this journal, because it's a wonderful journal to make for gifts, for like a card-like gift for Mother's Day, for a special person's birthday, for someone going off on a trip to send off with them. So anyway, I'm going to now open it up and show you what it looks like inside. So when you first open it up, there's a spread of the papers that I've designed. And what I love about these journals is, if you love digitals and digital images, this journal is sort of designed to not hide the digital image at all. And that's kind of fun. Now, in this instance, I did print this page twice. The journal is constructed, by the way, upon itself by folding and gluing and creating little secret pockets. And it is all made of cardstock. This isn't made of paper. It's made of, I think, 110-pound cardstock, maybe 120, if that's a size. I'll try to find out the exact size of cardstock and let you know. Anyway, so for instance, here's a little secret pocket, and I did create a little tiny mini journal like that you can just sort of write in and then stash it away in the little pocket like that. And then to the side, each little side page has a hidden pocket that you can put things in and store mementos. This page does have a journaling card. This is a journaling card that I designed quite some time ago to use in my Jane Eyre journals. When I started making my Jane Eyre journals, I sort of, if you don't already know, have a Jane Eyre obsession. I just love Jane Eyre. I think Jane Eyre is the true first modern novel. I think it's very readable. It's not inaccessible. I love Jane Austen as well, but Jane Austen sort of you have to sort of dive in like you're diving into a freezing cold pool, and you have to feel your way around and get used to the water. But not so with Jane Eyre. Jane Eyre is immediately readable. And here is a library pocket. I did use only library pockets when I started making these journals. And this one has 3 pockets. Here's a lace pocket, and here's a pocket here. And then this is also a pocket that you could stash something away in. And then on this page, once again, I've printed the page a couple of times. I made a pocket out of this corner of the page, and in this pocket, I've just stashed some sweet old ledger paper, some embellished with a little tiny bit of lace. And then this opens up, and here you have a journaling opportunity. Just right here, you can write away and then close it back up. And once again, here's a pocket. In this pocket, I put an old glassine envelope full of the journal card that I just showed you. It's another place to keep little secret thoughts, and it just sort of hangs over with a little snippet of peach lace. Here's a belly band made from lace, and this is in these journals I have pages that are just like sort of a wallpaper, just one print. They're not all collaged images, and that's so that you can put belly bands and library pockets and whatnot on top of your wallpaper paper. This is another little secret journal right here, and a tuck spot with some little tags right there, all placed on an old library card. Well, it's not old, it's a reproduction old library card. Once again, turning that page. Here's another fully collaged page. I did add, this is a extra pocket that I designed to include in this journal kit. And then in this pocket, I do have a little reproduction. This is a Jane Eyre that I collect Jane Eyre. I can't afford really old Jane Eyres, except I do have a second edition that is really sweet. It's a little teeny one. But this is a French edition of Jane Eyre. It's 1864, I think, or 1861. And this image comes from a book of fashion plates I got at a really great rate because it had been burned in a fire, so the fashion plates have this burn mark at the top, but I kind of like the patina it lends to the page. And this is just cut from this page. I just cut it off and made it into a giant journaling card. And so here's a sweet little pocket full of little goodies. And this is Jane Eyre, and all these ladies, unless I say differently, I do Adele's, and I do Mrs. Fairfax's, and I do Mrs. Rochester's, but this is a Jane Eyre. I love her. She also comes from that same old fashion plate book that I got that was burned, and I just made her into a tuck spot. I printed her off again and just glued her on and turned her into a tuck spot. And here I've done a little flip with a quote from the book, a really pretty quote. I ask you to pass through life at my side, to be my second self and best earthly companion. That's partially why I love Jane Eyre. There's so many quotes in Jane Eyre that are just so lovely. And once again, we do have the secret pocket. Here's a side diagonal pocket. I think of these as diagonal pockets. And once again, I printed the page twice, and then I used part of the page, cut it out, and sort of tried to line it up just as it would appear on the page. I did cut off the H of wherever you are is my home, my only home. And I have stuffed it with some, all these are old ledger papers, all are antiques. And then this page is these paper pads from Mary at A Passion for Paper. I just love the way she dyes, coffee dyes. I mean, I've coffee dyed, but there's just something about hers that are just so perfect that I'm just going to have her do this for me. But I've attached it with eyelets and then tied a crinkled sari silk ribbon that coffee dyed. I did dye that one. And I've just sort of had some crinkled up sari silk here that I've sewn on the edge, and just stuck in a little tag right there. That comes from Sam Poole. And then in this secret pocket, what looks like little tabs are actually two more little library pockets with little journaling cards. And when I used to make my journals, my Jane Austen journals and all my travel journals, they always included two library pockets stuffed with journaling cards that were removable and could be placed wherever you wanted them. But I love putting them in this pocket to look like a tab. So turning this page, we've got a little pocket made from an eyelet bit of fabric and another Jane Eyre, one of my Jane Eyre girls that I like to think of. And I've made a little mini journal, like a mini signature in here, made from a lot of old paper. Here is a bit that is made from a Jane Eyre book that I have that is, it's falling apart, and so it was in pretty ragged condition, so I'm sort of using it to make pockets and tear papers out of. I only do that if the book is pretty irredeemable. This one came from, it was an old library copy, and it was really beat up and falling apart, but I have stuffed a couple of little tags in that little flip-up pocket, and here's some graph paper that I printed with. This was printed with some of the Graphics Very Amazing foxed papers. I do that a lot. I print on top of papers with the fox papers, and here's the back, an embossed page that I did not emboss because I don't have an embosser yet. I just haven't gotten around to that. But some watercolor paper. If you've read Jane Eyre, you know she was a sketcher. Jane Eyre used to go out and sketch, and so and I imagine that she would watercolor as well if she had the ability to buy the watercolors, but that is included as well. And then here's another pocket made from some vintage paper and stuffed with all sorts of, here's another Jane Eyre journaling card that I have designed, and I use birds throughout my Jane Eyre, sort of symbolic because of her famous quote, "I am no bird and no net ensnares me." And another little tiny journaling card and a tag just made from pretty papers. This is paper cameo. Anyway, so we'll stick all that back into there, and another lady from my fashion plates. And here is another pocket right here. This is just a Marie Antoinette lady that I made and had, and I love her. But I figured, oh, well, Jane Eyre would have known about Marie Antoinette, and Adele was from France, so maybe Adele had pictures of Marie Antoinette. But more old papers, some more old tags. Here's another pocket made from that, that edition of Jane Eyre that I have that is falling apart. And some more journaling cards. Here's another journaling card that I'm not sure this is Jane Eyre. This may be Mr. Rochester's young lady who comes to tea, because she's pretty fancy. But I'm trying to think of her name right now. It's just eluding me. And so here is more of the backside of that watercolor paper, another little tuck spot, and some old paper. And then here we go. Another little secret slidey pocket. I've just put some ledger paper in here just so you can see how it slides in and out like that. And then, and the final, one of the last pages, I didn't do really much to this page because, except put the quote, the very famous quote, "Reader, I married him." Because Jane Eyre does have a happy ending, I'm pleased to report. And here is this lovely, lovely rose, which reminds me of a bridal bouquet. And once again, a secret pocket full of more Jane Eyre journaling cards with birds and Miss What's-Her-Name, who so doesn't get Mr. Rochester because Jane does. Oh, spoiler alert. So anyway, here's another separate pocket that I designed to put on this page. But there it is. Now, the spine of this book is made with lace, and I learned after much trial and error and after many years of making the spines with cardstock reinforced with cardboard and with, you know, tape, washi tape edges, that the best way to get the book to be able to lay flat is to use a fabric or a lace spine covering the journal once it's constructed. And this is a particularly pretty piece of crocheted lace. But that's the journal. I hope you enjoy it. I am going to be doing a tutorial so that everybody can be able to make one of these for their friends and their family. They're fun to make, and they're inexpensive to make because you just print off pictures on cardstock, and you can use all your favorite digital designers and turn their work into these sorts of journals, and you could literally make one in a day. If you wanted to make it fancy, full of all kinds of stuff, it might take 2 days to get, you know, all the embellishments added. But it's a quick and easy journal to make, and they are really pretty, and they're fun to give as gifts. So thank you so much for watching, and be on the lookout for the tutorial. Bye.